Hi, my name is Mark Biernot. I'm an academic economist specifically looking at monetary economics. And in this video, we're going to talk about two cities, an American city and a Russian city. One of the reasons I want to do this video is a lot of you are saying I'm talking generalities. I want to talk specifically and drill down to a microeconomic situation, that is, economic life and general life in one city compared to another. Now, I chose two cities. One city is Boston. Another is Novosibirsk. Novosibirsk is a Russian city, I thought, that was comparable, at least to Boston in terms of numbers. Now, people might say, why didn't I choose St. Petersburg or Moscow? St. Petersburg or Moscow are not representative of Russia. They're Pan Am, if you know the Hunger Games. They're some aberration. You know, you go 100 kilometers outside there, the roads don't even work. But within the city, all looks nice and good. And that would be comparable to maybe, I don't know, New York, Washington, or just some over-the-top place. But Boston is like any town USA, maybe San Antonio, Texas, or Savannah, Georgia, or whatever city. But I would say that Boston's Beantown is pretty good representation of any town USA, any city USA. And Novosibirsk is a pretty good representation of any town Russia. And I want to look at this from two perspectives. One, data. You guys like data? I'll give you some data. I generally don't put charts and graphs because people's eyes glaze over. But I want to also give it on personal experience. You say, oh, well, why do you have personal experience better than... I don't have any better personal experience than anybody. Everybody has up to 100%. But I'm giving you my subjective experience. I'm probably a little bit older than some of you guys out there, and I've got some unique experience. Let me tell you a story. When I was young and beautiful, I was an investment accounting software consultant. That means I installed back offices, MBS, mortgage-backed securities and things in the accounting for the middle office. The good news is, I got to travel a lot. In fact, when I was young and beautiful and I was going to clubs, believe it or not, I was clubbing, people would ask me what I do. I would say I was an accountant. And they would say, really? And then I would start talking about, mortgage-backed securities and inverse floaters, and their eyes would be glazing over. So then I quickly got the idea to switch the topic and say, the pay's pretty good, but the travel is really hard. And I'd shake my head and they'd go, really? So the truth is, the pay was horrible, but the travel was great. I was traveling 5-6 days a week, and even after that, I accumulated enough miles where I could even travel some more. So I lived and worked in many different places in the world. It was a fantastic time in my life. And I got a lot of experience sampling, and maybe I'm a connoisseur of different cities. So I'm going to tell you what it's like in Boston versus the Russian city, okay? What it's like, what it's really like from an economic perspective and my personal perspective. Okay, first we'll do the numbers because you guys like numbers. In Boston, you make on average, and this is according to Numbrio, again, user input. I trust user input a lot more than aggregate, World Bank data you guys are going to throw at me. No, this is, the time of today are platforms. Everything's a platform with user input. And this, in Numbrio, has really good economic user input, where in Boston, after-tax income, on average, is $5,963. So that's pretty good. What is it for our, twin city or sister city in Novosibirsk? Novosibirsk, like Siberia, Bersk. Novosibirsk. I should know that as a Slavic speaker. Okay, some of these Cyrillic things, you guys are saying, oh, you're not really a Slavic speaker. Yeah, but I read the Roman alphabet and a lot of that's written in Cyrillic, so I have to transliterate. Anyway, Novosibirsk, the average income is $517. Okay, that's not a lot. $517 compared to $5,963. That's over 1,000% more salary after tax in Boston, any town USA, than it is back in the USSR. So you throw at me, okay, well, what about the cost of this or the cost of that? Yeah, it is more expensive in Boston. Okay, so the three things that people are concerned about beyond salary to determine disposable income are apartments or place of work, transportation, and food. Food being the biggest variable, I would say. And I recommend you guys grow your own food. That's another video, another time. So to rent a flat, I was renting a flat downtown in Beacon Hill. It's just beautiful. Cobblestone streets, brownstones, gas lighting. It's unbelievable. And people used to criticize me, why are you doing this? You're paying so much money in rent. Word of advice. Let me give you guys some coaching. These are the days of our lives. I'll never get those days back. The money comes and go. It's like water. But the memories I accrued in this beautiful experience of living in downtown Boston, you can't take that away. All right? So I paid a lot in rent. At the time I paid $2,000, and that was a lot. And now it's gone up. It's $3,079. In Novosibirsk, it's about $350. So you see a big differential. But at the end of the day, if you subtract that let's say it's 3,000 and you're making 6,000, you have 3,000 disposable income in Boston, where in Russia you have, take 500. If it's 360, I think I misquoted. It's 360 versus 500. That's almost all your disposable income. That's a center city apartment. Okay, that gives you, like $140 left over of disposable income at the end of that. And now let's look at transportation. A car like a Toyota Corolla, really base model in Novosibirsk, Novosibirsk. Sorry, again, I should know this as a Slavic speaker. Dzień dobry. Is $29,626. In Boston, that same exact car, and I don't know why, maybe they get it off the ship, it's a port city, it's $23,800. So that's a huge difference. And gasoline, we say, well, we have gas in Russia, we have petroleum, we are rich. Do you personally have that in your backyard? Because I don't. I have to go to the store and buy it. And in Boston, it costs $3.62. And you guys will check me and fact check me, and it will be different because these things vary every day, obviously supply and demand. And in Novosibirsk, it's $2.16. So you go, see, but I know, but the car is so different and your disposable income is so low. And that's really not that much difference. That's price per gallon. Everybody's quoting in rubles per liter or something. No, gallon, it's about 4 liters. So disposable income in Boston, you're still gonna have like $3,000 a month to blow. And if you do better and you're educating yourself, you can do even better than that. What about food? Okay, potatoes, you guys got me. Potatoes are 21 cents a pound in Russia, and it's $1.72 a pound in Boston. But like I said, I grow my own potatoes. I even had pots in the back of my courtyard growing all kind of food. Okay, so use some innovation. Food is the biggest variable that you can control in terms of your disposable income in a day-to-day life in an economic situation. Chicken breast is about $1.79 in Russia, and it's about $6 here, $6.72. And so you see, and milk is, according to Numbrio, is $3.20 a gallon in Russia, and it's like $3.76 in the United States. For me, that's not much of a difference, but also it seems a little high. Locally I go to Aldi if I'm getting milk. I get it from the farmers too, and it's a fraction of the cost. If you can get it from the farmers, I highly recommend it. I was thinking about getting a goat, but I've had so many animals here and things like that, domesticated animals, maybe I better not bring one more in. So again, you're gonna live, after everything's said and done, about $3,000 more in your pocket, maybe $2,000 after all utilities are paid, media or whatever you call it, $2,000 more disposable income a month for the same amount of work in Boston than Novosibirsk. I'm still not saying that right, whatever. 2,000, but that's not life. Life is made of everyday experiences. It's so much better in Boston. Let me just tell you, if you've ever been to a Russian city, it's a Soviet architecture, all this concrete, blockies, everything's linear and just so boring. It is so insanely boring. Boston, it's like built around and here and cobblestone and bricks. Every component of the city has like a different history. It was Irish guys with shovels and wheelbarrows. They built the entire city of Boston up. It was just a little sliver peninsula, and they expanded it. Okay, through hard work, not with heavy machines, and they built the entire city these churches built on wood, and some of them are slanting now, 100 years later. They built the subways with shovels 100 years ago, or more than 100 years ago. I mean, there's so many interesting historical nooks and crannies to the city of Boston where Novosibirsk is just linear, straight blocks, and it's koshmar. Okay, I know that word. Koshmar. Koshmar means nightmare. It's so boring. Your eyes are glazing over. You can't escape. Where are you going to go? Siberia? Hop on the Trans-Siberian? Yeah, that's a lot of fun. When I was in Boston, I used to go up to Montreal for grocery shopping. Go to these French grocery stores and bakeries. I used to go up there for yoga and just, clubbing. And then I would come back. I'd pay for the trip because the exchange rate between the Canadian dollar, US dollar at the time was so great. I just fill my car with great French food and then bring it back. I mean, I can go to New York. I can go to the Boston Harbor Islands, Cape Cod, Newport, Rhode Island. There's so much to see. In Novosibirsk, you've got a cultural center, and that's great. And maybe before the days of the internet, that was cool. You can just see a play or something. But, for me, that's kind of boring now. I want more excitement. There's no rush in going to a cultural center. I want to go to Disney. I want to fly. I mean, from Boston, there was like a few hour flight to Iceland. I love Iceland. Iceland's like one of the best places in the world, and it cost nothing. I was going to go just for a Thanksgiving holiday, except my boss called me in because we were doing, like financial statements or something. We had quarterly statements due. But I wanted to go just for that weekend. That's how easy. One of the guys in my department, actually a girl, she's from Europe anyway, she took a long weekend and she just went to Germany. You don't understand how cheap things can get when you're making that much money. You're just throwing it away, okay? I mean, I'm not going to say I really did it, but maybe I really did. I was lighting cigars with $100 bills, metaphorically, once I was rolling into cash. Life was great. But is life about money? No. Boston's super clean air. The ocean breeze and everything, and they've got really good restraints. Novosibirsk, it has high levels of pollution. The index is like 69. In Boston, it's like 38. These numbers don't mean anything, but Boston's considered super low, and that Russian city is considered super high. That is what life is made out of: air quality, water quality, everyday ability to actualize and be the best person you want to be. Have the freedom. And that's another thing I love about Boston. Everything's super diverse. I mean, all these different religions. You've got these Buddhist meditation centers, these yoga centers, these, Unitarian centers, Quaker centers. You've got Islamic centers. Everybody's cool and everybody's fun. And I mean that. And, if you're young and single and beautiful like I was at one time, then the world is right there. And when you're on the train with people, it's just, everybody's so easygoing in Boston on the tram. Blue line, green line. And people are giggling and laughing. Russian people would be like all serious, just looking forward. And they'd be saying, wow, they're not smart people. You can't take somebody who's like that. And a lot of people say that about me. But I'm securing myself. I can grow my hair long and goof around and laugh. A lot of these guys on the tram, they're MIT math wizards, MIT, Harvard. I spent my time, as much as I'm, boasting about all this other stuff. The reality is, on Saturday night, I'd usually be if I wasn't doing yoga in Cambridge Square, right after that, I'd rock Cambridge, en bon pen. That's where all the chess players met, and I'd be playing chess till like 1 a.m. Yeah, that was my rocking it on a Saturday night, playing chess. No, you go to YouTube and you look at the goofiest people on YouTube, they're chess players, because they're super smart, because they don't take life so seriously. All people are the same. We all add up to 100%. It's just that this Russian economic culture and system and ideas are stifling the growth and potential. And we want to make the world a better place. We've got to liberate these people. Can you imagine if Novosibirsk was the capital of New Siberia, an independent, beautiful republic where we have free movement of labor and capital and freedom and transparency? You guys, the best you guys have can escape reality is the internet. And the internet itself is monitored. If you want to get a way around it, let me know. Leave a comment below. I know a way around that monitoring. Okay, I'm a little bit of a geeky techie. But anyway, I mean, the information you get is not, it's not free. You know, free your mind. And if you ever watch Star Trek, the original series, Mirror, Mirror, Kirk, at the end, is telling the bad Spock, the evil Spock, there's these two parallel universes, that every revolution begins with one man. I'm not talking about starting a revolution. I'm talking about, you know, change within, okay? And I'm talking about peaceful ways to start to move and gravitate your thinking, to change the society, to make it a better society so we can have free movement of labor and capital, so we can have free exchange of ideas, transparency, and make the world a better place. So if you want to live, you know, in Novosibirsk, yeah, sure, for a few weeks, the first month, there's this honeymoon effect, everything's cool and new. But after that, life becomes a quiet life of desperation. If you want to live in Boston, it just rocks. I saw, you know, talk to me, you know, Konstantin from inside Russia. He's lived in Russia and he's lived in America. I mean, again, we all add up to 100%. But this idea of acceptance in America that anything is possible, people smiling and happy, and in Boston, everybody's on their cell phone, everybody's got some entrepreneurial idea. A lot of it may take off, a lot of it might not. But in Novosibirsk, everybody's just kind of like keeping their head down. There's an implicit agreement between the government and the people of Russia. You stay out of our affairs, we stay out of yours. That means they don't have any say in the governance. And the you know, everybody says, well, we have gold, we have oil. Do you personally have uranium in your pocket? Well, do you have gold and oil in your pocket? No, that's about the government. And the last thing, that implicit agreement has been violated by the government of Russia, because you no longer can live in the shadows and be passive. They may ship you off to the Eastern Front, okay? Sergeant Schultz. So what is life like in Boston? Life is like $5,972 after tax, and in Novosibirsk, it's $517, okay? 1,000% different. And money is not everything. If you think money brings you happiness, sometimes it's better to be poor. You'll learn about that later in life, I think. You know, the experiences are what matter. But what it does do is it gives, it's not something, you know, to be striven for. It's a symptom. It's showing you that these are people unlocking their potential and actualizing their life. So life in America, fun. Life in Russia, unfun. I'll say it again. Life in America, fun. Life in Russia, unfun. Got it? My name is Mark Bernot. I'm an economist. Some of you guys got me on that last time. I'm a monetary economist. Mark Bernot, academic. Look me up on LinkedIn. Check my about page. But like the video, I'm very pro-Ukraine because I believe Ukraine is fighting for this freedom that Russia would only dream of. Thank you very much. Have a great day.